warmly welcome our next speaker, Jacob Walker.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jacob Walker, and I was invited along with plenty of other students from Big Bear High School to speak for the Eleanor Stem Allen Memorial Speech Contest. Now, before I begin, I would like to thank the Big Bear American Association of University Women for inviting us high schoolers to this event and for providing the opportunity to speak freely on the subject. I would also like to thank the lovely Marlene Kane for coming to the high school to describe this contest more thoroughly and for inspiring some of us high schoolers to come and speak before all of you. Now, I'd like to start by stating that I am for the Equal Rights Amendment, sort of. Let me explain. I'd like to first state the original amendment written by Alice Paul. It states that equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state under any state on account of sex. What does this mean exactly? This means that both men and women will be ensured equal rights under the US government. This in turn would provide equal footing for both genders, from job applications to public service, enforced by the federal government. Now, some would be more than inclined to believe that this amendment would be an immense achievement in our history as a country, and they'd probably be right. Due to the lack of personal information I have in observing this gender discrimination, I did what any good young boy would have done, and I asked my mom instead. Now, in the past, my mom has told me she worked hard when she was younger. She was working towards her bachelor's degree. Now, she had taken accelerated courses to make space for other activities she wanted to do, like singing in her college's choir, the Citrus Singers. Now, that meant she was taking an entire semester's worth of learning and cramming it into 8 weeks. That's pretty impressive, right? She had put in just as much, if not more work than any man taking the same classes, but when it came time for her to actually get a job, she was rejected a few times in the place of men that could. With this amendment in place, discriminating between men and women would not only be looked down upon by many, it would also be illegal. Similarly, wages between both genders would have to be equal, eliminating lower wages for women who are doing just as much work as men. The ERA does, however, have its flaws. For example, although we wish to make both men and women equal, not all religions do. Groups like Roman Catholics and the Orthodox Jews only let men become clergy, even though more women may attend the church due to the beliefs of their religion. Some religions have specific roles for the man and the woman. Introducing an amendment like the ERA could prove problematic when confronted with these religions, especially since this could infringe upon our First Amendment, which protects our freedom of religion. Furthermore, if these religions refuse to ordain women, they would have to pay taxes, which churches are not supposed to do because of the Equal Rights Amendment. Another issue that may occur has to do with the context of the amendment. Now, the Equal Rights Amendment was written back in 1923, soon after World War I, when women had noticeably less rights than men. Due to the lack of men in the country, women took their place, which they proved to be rather proficient at. After the war, however, men returning to the country took back their jobs, putting women under men once again. Passing an amendment that would provide equal rights for both genders seemed like a no-brainer to women back then, but we aren't exactly caught in the roaring 20s now, are we? Since then, women have still made leaps and strides to secure their rights in the United States, especially with our country's acceptance of people classifying their own genders from asexuality to gender fluidity, but the ERA doesn't address this new phenomenon at all. New events in history have changed the world and subsequently created conflicts with the ERA. Passing the Equal Rights Amendment in its original state could produce more problems than the ones it would solve. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against the Equal Rights Amendment. I believe it has the potential to be an outstanding addition to our Constitution. However, the ERA is not perfect. Nothing ever really is. A revision may be in order to comply with the complexities of social roles in our country. Other than that, I believe the Equal Rights Amendment is a fantastic idea that I would be sure to support as soon as I'm of age. Now, we, as a country, have only one question left we have yet to answer concerning the Equal Rights Amendment. Why not now?